How you doing? I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Today's question is, why does alcohol remove stress? I think this is one of the biggest misconceptions about drinking alcohol, is that people think that just because they're not feeling the stress at the moment, that it actually removes the stress, that alcohol removes the stress. What it does is it puts you in a frame of mind where you're not thinking about it. It takes your mind off things, it lowers your inhibitions, so you're not actually thinking about it in that moment, but it does nothing to alleviate or get rid of the root cause. So the stress is still there, it's just underneath. And as with anything else, anything emotional, if you go too long with burying emotions, trying to push them down and not thinking about and not dealing with the root cause, then they're going to cause you a lot more problems in the long run. I mean, the stress is, as I say, is not going to go away. The problem that causes stress in the first place is not going to go away. The thinking that causes stress is not going to go away. Now, alcohol changes the levels of serotonin and other neurotransmitters in the brain, which can worsen anxiety. In fact, a lot of the times you feel worse, more fear, more anxiety, more stress when the alcohol wears off than when you started. And that's for a number of reasons. It does nothing to alleviate the problem itself. It might dampen down the feelings of stress, but it doesn't do anything to alleviate the problem that's causing the stress in the first place. So you drink, you avoid the problem, and you think everything's hunky-dory, and then the next morning the problem is just slightly worse, and the next morning it's a little bit worse, and the next morning it's a little bit worse. The fact that alcohol itself causes anxiety, and that alcohol-induced anxiety can last for the full day after you've been drinking alcohol, or even longer, that should set alarm bells ringing. So, if you're drinking over and over and over again, imagine the anxiety that is going to build up, so the alcohol, instead of getting rid of the anxiety, is actually the cause for a lot more of the anxiety than you would have otherwise had if you didn't drink alcohol. I think one of the biggest reasons why people start drinking in the first place is because they have social anxiety. It was certainly one of the reasons that I started drinking, especially when I was drinking full time. I was just getting out of my teenage years, 17, 18, that kind of thing. Going into the pub for the first time, trying to mix with other people, especially girls. And, just that social pressure is huge. Now, people who take alcohol, use alcohol to deal with social anxiety, the problem is that they become dependent on that tool, that exterior force, in order to deal with social situations, to deal with other people. And they find that this coping mechanism is something that they have to go back to over and over and over again. Now, the problem is that you just don't learn how to deal with social situations because you're using this crutch all the time. Imagine if you were walking around with a real pair of crutches all the time, and you weren't really using your legs. Your legs would slowly deteriorate, and within a short space of time there'd be nothing much left of them. You just wouldn't have the muscle. In order to build the muscles in your legs, you've got to use your legs. In order to build the muscles in your mind, you've got to use those. Same thing with when you're out socializing. In order to build those social muscles, you've got to use them, you've got to practice, you've got to make mistakes, you've got to fail. So this is one of the things that we've got to learn when you're stopping drinking alcohol, is how to deal with social situations, how to put yourself within a different social circle, people who are not drinking, and cope with that. Cope with the whatever people are going to throw at you. Now, luckily enough, the older you get, the less slings and arrows people throw at you, so it gets a lot easier. So I'll leave it there for today. Now, if you think you have a problem with alcohol, I've got something that I want to give you for free that I think you're going to love. It's my new book, 10 Steps to Stop Drinking Alcohol. Now, if you download this, if you read it and you apply the principles, I'm positive that you're going to enjoy a lot more mental freedom, a lot more money in your bank, better relationships, so on and so forth. As I said, I want to give you this for free. All you have to do is click on the link down below this video to get started. It'll take you to the website, alcoholmastery.com. Just leave your best email address and I'll send you out a free copy straight away. As I said, I think you're going to enjoy this book and find it extremely useful. So go ahead right now, click on the link below to get started. Take care of yourself. Keep the alcohol out of your mouth. I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Onwards and upwards. Take care. Bye now.